Thank you so much for joining me today. Hello there, and a very warm welcome. Are you looking to keep your kidneys in tip-top shape as you enjoy your golden years? It's something many of us think about, and for good reason. Did you know that, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 1 in 3 adults age 65 or older in the U.S. may have chronic kidney disease? And a shocking number of them don't even realize it. Now, what many folks overlook is just how much your everyday food choices, especially the proteins you eat, can impact those hardworking kidneys. You might believe all protein is created equal, but when it comes to kidney health, that's not always the full story. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share some crucial information. We'll talk about 4 of the best proteins to embrace for good kidney health. And then, we'll count down 6 types you should be very careful with, perhaps even limiting significantly or avoiding. Our kidneys are amazing organs, filtering waste and keeping our bodies in balance. But as we age, or if we have conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes, which are leading causes of kidney disease, our kidneys can come under strain. The good news is that making informed dietary choices can make a real difference in protecting them. So here's what we'll cover today. First, we're going to count down 6 types of protein that can be particularly tough on your kidneys. I'll explain why they can be problematic and give you some simple action steps. Then we'll switch gears and celebrate 4 fantastic protein sources that your kidneys will thank you for. You'll definitely want to stick around because some of this information, backed by research from reputable sources like the National Kidney Foundation, might just surprise you and could be a game changer for your health. Before we dive in, a quick reminder. This video is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for medical advice from your own doctor or a qualified healthcare provider. Always consult with your personal physician if you have any questions or concerns about your health or a medical condition. All right, let's get started with the proteins we need to be a bit more cautious about. We'll count them down from number 6. Okay, let's start our countdown. Coming in at number 6 on our list of proteins to be cautious with are those convenient but often problematic processed deli meats. Think about things like bacon, sausage, hot dogs, and most cold cuts you find at the deli counter. Now, why are these a concern? Well, for starters, they are almost always loaded with sodium. As the National Kidney Foundation points out, too much sodium can raise your blood pressure, and high blood pressure is a leading cause of kidney damage. It essentially makes your kidneys work overtime to handle the excess. Beyond just sodium, many of these processed meats contain phosphorus additives. We'll talk a lot more about phosphorus in a moment, but it's important to know that these man-made additives are absorbed very easily and completely by the body, which can be tough on kidneys that are already working hard. Some processed meats also contain nitrates, which have been linked to other health concerns as well. So it's a triple whammy of sorts with these foods. So what can you do? Your action step here is to become a label detective. Look for low-sodium versions if you really enjoy these. Better yet, try roasting your own turkey or chicken breast at home and slicing it for sandwiches. It takes a little more effort, but you control the ingredients, and that's powerful. And when you're looking at those labels, keep an eye out for ingredients that include the letters PHOS. That's often a sign of those phosphorus additives we want to minimize. If processed meats are a big part of your current diet, it's a really good idea to chat with your doctor or a dietitian about healthier swaps, especially if you already have kidney concerns or high blood pressure. These professionals can help you navigate these choices without feeling deprived. Okay, so that's processed meats. Now, let's move on to number 5, a category that many people consume daily without a second thought. Coming in at number 5 are certain dairy products, especially when consumed in large quantities. Now, dairy foods like milk, cheese, and yogurt are well-known sources of calcium and protein, and that's good. However, they are also naturally high in phosphorus. Healthy kidneys are champs at filtering out extra phosphorus from your blood. But if your kidneys aren't working at their best, phosphorus can build up. According to the National Kidney Foundation, persistently high phosphorus levels can cause a cascade of problems. It can pull calcium from your bones, making them weak and more prone to fractures. And can even lead to dangerous calcium deposits in your blood vessels, heart, and lungs. This isn't to say you can never have dairy, but for those with kidney concerns, moderation and awareness are absolutely key. Your action step here is to be mindful of your portions. Instead of a huge glass of milk, maybe a smaller one will do. If you love cheese, enjoy it, but perhaps not at every single meal or in large amounts. Some lower phosphorus dairy alternatives might be available, but it's always best to check with your dietitian. They are the experts who can help you figure out how much and what types of dairy can safely fit into your specific kidney-friendly eating plan, because everyone's needs are a bit different. If you're a big dairy consumer or have been told by your doctor that your phosphorus levels are on the high side, this is definitely something to discuss with your healthcare provider or a renal dietitian. They can provide personalized guidance. From the dairy aisle, let's turn our attention to the meat counter for number 4. At number 4, we have red meat, particularly fatty cuts and those that are heavily processed. While red meat is a rich source of protein, iron, and other important nutrients, some research suggests that diets consistently high in red meat might be harder on the kidneys over the long haul. Animal proteins, in general, produce more acid in the body when they're metabolized compared to plant proteins. This increased acid load can put an extra strain on the kidneys. Fatty cuts of red meat are also high in saturated fat, which isn't the best for heart health. And it's so important to remember that heart health and kidney health are very closely linked. In fact, the DASH diet, which stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension and is often recommended by the National Kidney Foundation for Kidney Health, specifically suggests limiting red meats. So, the action step here isn't necessarily to banish red meat from your life forever, but to be selective and moderate your intake. Choose leaner cuts like sirloin or tenderloin, trim any visible fat before cooking, and consider smaller portions. Think of red meat as an occasional part of your diet rather than the star of every meal. And as we've said, try to limit or steer clear of processed red meats. If your diet is very heavy in red meat and you have risk factors for kidney disease like diabetes or high blood pressure, it's wise to talk to your doctor or dietitian about how it fits into your overall health picture. All right, we're halfway through our watch out list. Number 3 is something that often hides in plain sight, especially in convenience foods. Oh wait, I jumped ahead. Number 3 is a specific type of meat. Coming in at number 3 are organ meats. Foods like liver, kidneys, and sweetbreads are very nutrient-dense, and in some cultures and families, they're highly prized. However, for folks who need to be careful about their kidney health, organ meats pose a particular challenge. This is because they are exceptionally high in phosphorus. They are also high in purines, though our main focus here is on phosphorus for general kidney health. As we've discussed, managing phosphorus intake becomes absolutely critical when kidney function is reduced to prevent that buildup and its associated complications. So if you have kidney concerns, the general advice from many healthcare professionals is to limit or even avoid organ meats. There are many other protein sources that are much kinder to your kidneys and can help you meet your nutritional needs without the high phosphorus load. If these are a regular part of your diet, this is a key area to consider adjusting. Definitely discuss this with your dietitian or doctor if organ meats are staples for you. They can guide you on appropriate phosphorus management and help you find suitable alternatives. Now for number 2, and this one is tricky because it often masquerades as a healthy choice. At number 2, we're looking at many commercial protein bars and shakes. This might seem counterintuitive. Aren't these supposed to be healthy fuel? Well, while they certainly pack a protein punch, many store-bought protein bars and pre-made shakes can be a bit of a wolf in sheep's clothing. They can be loaded with hidden sugars, unhealthy fats, a surprising amount of sodium, and yes, those pesky phosphorus additives we've been talking about. Honestly, some of them are more like candy bars in disguise. That excess sugar contributes to unwanted weight gain and can worsen conditions like diabetes, which, as we know, is a major risk factor for kidney disease. And those additives, particularly the phosphates, just add to the kidney's workload without providing real nutritional value. Your action step here is to be a very savvy label reader. This is so important. Look for bars and shakes with minimal ingredients, low sugar content. Watch out for those grams of sugar, low sodium, and no phosphate additives. It can be a bit of a hunt, but better options are out there. Or even better, consider making your own protein snacks with whole foods. Think about plain Greek yogurt in moderation, keeping phosphorus in mind, with some fresh fruit, or a small handful of nuts. Again, portion control is key, and we'll talk more about nuts in our best list. If you rely heavily on these commercial protein products, it would be a great idea to ask your dietitian to help you evaluate your current choices or suggest better alternatives, and some simple recipes for homemade versions. And now for the number 1 protein source or category to be very, very careful with when it comes to your kidney health. This one is all about those hidden ingredients that can catch you unawares. And our number 1 protein category to be extremely cautious about for kidney health is any protein source that comes packaged with hidden phosphorus additives. This isn't one specific food, but rather a characteristic of many processed and convenience foods. This includes some meats, poultry, and fish that have been enhanced or heavily processed. The food industry often adds inorganic phosphorus compounds, things like phosphates, as preservatives, flavor enhancers, or moisture retainers. The big problem, as the National Kidney Foundation explains, is that your body absorbs almost 100% of this added inorganic phosphorus. That's a much higher absorption rate compared to the phosphorus that naturally occurs in whole foods like beans or nuts, where your body only absorbs a portion. This easy and complete absorption of added phosphorus can quickly elevate phosphorus levels in your blood, putting a huge strain on your kidneys and significantly increasing your risks for bone disease and heart problems. It's a kind of stealth health sabotage because these additives are often in foods you might not suspect. Your most powerful action step here is to read ingredient lists religiously. Become a detective for phosphorus. Look for any words containing PHOS, like dicalcium phosphate, sodium tripolyphosphate, phosphoric acid, and so on. The more you can choose fresh, whole, unprocessed foods, the better you'll be at avoiding these unwelcome additives. Cooking from scratch as much as possible puts you in control of what goes into your food, and that's incredibly empowering. If you realize that your diet relies heavily on packaged, processed foods, this is a critical conversation to have with your doctor or a renal dietitian. They are skilled at helping you identify these hidden sources of phosphorus and can work with you to plan a safer, kidney-friendly diet. Woo! That was a lot of important information on what to watch out for. If you're finding these tips helpful and are learning something new, do me a quick favor and tap that like button right below this video. It really helps our channel reach more folks who could benefit from this information, and I truly appreciate your support. Okay, Now for the really good news. Let's talk about the proteins that can be true champions for your kidney health. These are the foods you can feel good about incorporating into your meals. And kicking off our best list at number 1 is fish. Fish, especially fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, albacore tuna, and trout, are fantastic choices. They provide high-quality protein. Plus, these types of fish are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, which are famous for their heart health benefits. And as we've learned, a healthy heart supports healthy kidneys. Generally, fish is lower in unhealthy saturated fats compared to many red meats. Some evidence even suggests that fish protein might be processed a bit more gently by the kidneys than some other animal proteins. Your action step is to aim to include fish in your meals 2 to 3 times a week if you can. Baking, grilling, broiling, or poaching are excellent, healthy cooking methods. Try seasoning your fish with fresh herbs, spices, and a squeeze of lemon or lime instead of relying on heavy, salty sauces. If you opt for canned tuna or salmon, choose varieties packed in water, and it's a good idea to rinse them to reduce some of the sodium. For canned salmon, look for boneless varieties. Fish is a fantastic start. What's next on our kidney-friendly protein parade? Our second wonderful protein choice for kidney health is skinless poultry. Think chicken and turkey. Skinless chicken and turkey breast are excellent sources of lean, high-quality protein. They provide those essential building blocks your body needs without a heavy load of saturated fat. This is important because, as we've noted, keeping saturated fat intake in check is good for your heart and, by extension, your kidneys. As long as it's not heavily processed, breaded and fried, or drenched in salty, creamy sauces. The key is in the preparation and choosing the right parts. So for your action step, choose fresh or frozen skinless chicken or turkey breast or tenderloins. These are usually the leanest options. Bake, grill, roast, or stir-fry them with plenty of colorful vegetables. Again, use herbs, spices, or low-sodium marinades to add delicious flavor without adding a lot of salt. Portion control is still your friend. A piece about the size of the palm of your hand is a good general guide for a serving of cooked meat. And it bears repeating. Try to avoid those processed chicken nuggets or those pre-packaged deli-style turkey slices we talked about earlier, as they can be loaded with sodium and those unwanted additives. From poultry, let's crack open our third great option. Coming in at number 3 for kidney-friendly protein are egg whites. Eggs are often called a complete protein, and they are indeed a powerhouse. However, the yolk is where most of the phosphorus and cholesterol are concentrated. Egg whites, on the other hand, are almost pure, high-quality protein and are very low in phosphorus. This makes them an excellent choice if you need to boost your protein intake while keeping a very close eye on your phosphorus levels. Your action step here is pretty straightforward. You can use egg whites in omelets, scrambles, or even add them to other dishes like frittatas or baked goods. Liquid egg whites are also readily available in cartons at most grocery stores, which is very convenient. Now, this doesn't mean you can never eat a whole egg, but if phosphorus is a particular concern for you, focusing on egg whites for some of your protein needs can be a smart strategy. It's always best to talk to your dietitian about how many whole eggs are appropriate for you, so they can help you balance your nutrient intake with your phosphorus goals. And finally, our fourth category of kidney-friendly proteins is a broad and wonderful one. Last but certainly not least on our best list is the fantastic world of plant-based proteins, when chosen and prepared wisely, and consumed in appropriate, guided amounts. This includes a wonderful variety of foods like beans, think kidney beans, black beans, chickpeas, lentils, tofu, and even nuts and seeds in moderation. The National Kidney Foundation notes that plant-based proteins can actually be easier on the kidneys than many animal proteins. They generally produce less acid in the body when they are metabolized. Plus, plant-based proteins come with the fantastic added bonus of fiber, which is great for your digestion, can help manage blood sugar, and contributes to overall health. Now, it's true that some plant proteins do contain potassium and phosphorus. However, there's an important distinction to make about phosphorus from plant sources. It's generally not as well absorbed by your body. For your action step, try incorporating more meatless meals into your week. Add beans or lentils to soups, stews, and salads. They're hearty and filling. Tofu can be wonderfully versatile in stir-fries, scrambles, or even blended into smoothies. When it comes to nuts and seeds, portion control is important because they are calorie-dense and do contain minerals. A small handful is usually a good serving size. If you are on specific potassium or phosphorus restrictions, it's very important to work closely with your dietitian. They can teach you how to safely include these healthy foods. Because some plant-based proteins can be higher in potassium or phosphorus, if you have later-stage kidney disease, always consult your dietitian on the right types and amounts for you. We've covered a lot of ground with these proteins. I'm really curious, which of these tips surprised you the most? Or perhaps you have a favorite kidney-friendly protein meal or recipe you'd like to share with our community? Let me know down in the comments section below. So there you have it, our guide to 4 of the best proteins to cherish for your kidney health, and 6 types to be more mindful of. Remember, the goal here isn't about feeling deprived. It's about feeling empowered with knowledge to make smart, delicious choices that nourish your body and protect those amazing, hard-working kidneys. The National Kidney Foundation emphasizes that even small, consistent changes in your diet can lead to big results. Swapping out a processed snack for a piece of fruit, choosing baked fish over fried, these little steps truly add up. You have more control than you might think when it comes to safeguarding your health. It's about making conscious choices, one meal at a time. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and ring the little notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. And if you know someone who could benefit from this information, please do share this video with them. Sharing is caring. Until next time, here's to your health and happiness.